Hello and good morning. I yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well. If you're tuning in live, it would be great to get a comment to let me know what part of the world you're tuning in from. Um, Today we will be compressing the efforts of the Swarm community from the last 5 months into about 12 minutes, and then we'll have some ample time for Q&A. After this presentation, we will be segueing into the next two presentations to prime ourselves for the Data Centric AI Forum, and it's taking place on Wednesday, the 27th. So, with that being said, let me get started with the presentation. This is an introduction to the Swarm community, and my name is Joaquim Milada. I am originally from El Salvador, and I'm presently in New Jersey. I've been here for the last 22 years. I've worked in a variety of different organizations doing different things. I've been a support engineer for an educational technology company. I have worked as a technical project manager for a software architecture firm, and I've done some event planning for emerging technologies and different data source providers, that database providers. Um, Most recently, I've been dedicating my time to consulting small businesses, startups, in organizing their operations internally and doing some business development activity. Since November of last year, I founded the Swarm community, and I started a podcast called the AI Digest podcast. Currently, I'm building a brokerage of ideas. If you'd like to, connect with me, my LinkedIn is there. I should be as a marked as a speaker for the presentation. I'm relatively easy to get a hold of. So yeah, let's talk about the Swarm community. Uh, Here's the outline for the presentation today. We are going to talk about where Swarm started, the concept, the advisory board, how it's been going so far. We ran a pre-alpha launch, and we've gathered some lessons from that. The events that we're planning to develop in the near future for this year, for 2024, the roadmap for the community, and my personal roadmap to adhere to the community goals, as well as roadmap for the future, what's going to happen in the next couple of years. So about Swarm. Yeah, so Swarm is the collective product of a number of observations that I've made throughout my career. There are so many amazing people in this world, and the there usually is a ton of people that live in a bubble. Um, However, we have big problems, and these people that are in bubbles, they have amazing skills, talent, experience, but they just might be afraid to go out there and collaborate to solve things that are bigger than themselves. Um, so throughout my career, I've noticed that one of the key things as a communicator, as a people lover, as an voracious learner, I've been able to connect people together to resolve bigger problems, and I think that's sort of where I want to go with Swarm. Swarm is meant to simulate the collective intelligence of a group of birds flying to Mexico, or ants looking for food, or bees looking to create sources of honey. Um, we could be doing the same to solve societal problems, but it needs some level of coordination. So the development of Swarm boiled down to three factors. I wanted to make a living doing this, what I love to do, which is helping people and actively transform the world for the better. Um, as Earl Nightingale says, we will receive not what we idly wish, but what we justly earn. Our rewards will always be in exact proportion to our service. So I want to put myself in a position where I can be of service to People who have things to do and say and create, but might not necessarily have the operational skill set or the network or the knowledge and experience to make things happen. Um, I've largely developed my career to build administrative operational skill sets. I've dove headfirst into technical domains to get really good expansive understandings of how the technology landscape is shaping up, the infrastructure, tech stacks, all that stuff. So I feel like I can really lend a helping hand to people that want to co-create a better future. The thing here is that I know I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm not an expert in the domains of technology. So thanks to the network that I've collected from running events and conferences, I've gathered the counsel of a group of experts. That's my board of advisors, and they really have been the wind in my backside. They've really been pushing me forward and encouraging me, giving me continuous forms of creating value for community members, creating opportunities to grow and learn. Um, they can only point the way, but they have been helping me immensely in finding the way to a more sustainable operational model. Um, I'd also like to thank my uncle, my mom, and my girlfriend for being sounding boards and pillars of support. Um, but yeah, I cannot possibly pretend to be something I'm not. I rely heavily on the counsel of other people. So even within the community, there's a mini community. So the pre-alpha community launch from January 20th to February, approximately February 28th. The first launch of the community, the MVP idea at least, was where we gathered a group of community members from podcast recordings and Google forms that were filled out by interested parties. We held several weekly calls throughout this 40-day trial period. We had one-on-one meetings where I sort of talked to people to get a better understanding of what they were looking for, what kind of community they wanted to contribute to, what kind of learnings they want to extract from these events. Um, I made sure to deploy surveys and collect both quantitative and qualitative data. Um, this is my first go at having a community or at least developing something of this sort. So there are many mistakes to be made. I mean, just in the last 5 months, I'm sure I've had a plenty of chances to learn new things, from marketing to operational concerns to negotiating proposals. It's been a steady source of learning for me. Very very humbling experience, to say the least. But I think, from this example of building a trial of the community, there's a better way to build this thing up. So I think, to share my learnings, it might seem pretty obvious, and it's deceptively obvious that people like learning. Um, People like interactive events. People like networking with like-minded people. Um, and the dangerous part is that it's obvious, but it's also there's another layer behind this uh, yearning for people to connect with like-minded individuals and learn further on how they can amplify their career, their skill set, overcome self-limiting beliefs, overcome challenges, technical, social, anything in that nature. um, and you know the thing is, people want an objective. People want to co-create and solve and be part of something that's greater than them. So I think, for the time being, you know, intent is good and all, and well and good, but we cannot live or perform or create or solve problems with intent alone. There needs to be a clear framework of operations. And I think I really learned that in the 40 days of operating the community. You're not going to instantaneously get people to talk to each other or develop proposals on their own. You need to build the infrastructure for that. So let me take a moment to talk a little bit more about some of the programming that we're going to be doing in the near future. The Data Centric AI Forum that's going to happen next week. Um, in April, we're going to be organizing a business and AI forum to discuss more of the business, governance, maintenance, investments involved with AI. Uh, in May, we're going to be doing the Women in AI convention. It's going to be a series of panel discussions. So be sure to tune in for that. Women working in machine learning and knowledge graphs and hybrids, AI systems, all sorts of things in that realm. And that's going to kick off June. June is going to discuss more of the human aspects, how artificial intelligence technologies are impacting our society, our world, through a number of mediums, accessibility, design, job markets, things of that matter. But that's going to lead us to the AI Tech Symposium, where we're going to be able to talk a little bit more about the different kinds of technologies. AI really is a buzzword, and I've used it extensively, but it's it's such a diverse set of technologies that live under that umbrella, and we need to be able to investigate that from the perspective of experts. So June is going to be a very educational month for anybody that is interested in artificial intelligence as a buzzword, but wants to really get granular details as to how it impacts people and what kind of technologies we need to adopt in which different areas. October is the piece de resistance. That's when we're going to get really deep into industrial and commercial applications of AI, and I think that's going to paint the bigger perspective as to how AI is going to have a direct impact in the fabric of our society and our economies. So back to the learning. Um, we have we have gathered feedback from community members and people that have gone through the trial. And initially, the hypothesis was that we wanted to champion open source AI technology, but that in itself is sort of a vague exercise. To host tutorials and webinars on how AI technology works is all well and good, but it needs to have some lens of where to apply this to. And I think as I've been developing the programming with speakers for this data centric AI forum and talking to other people and just being steeped in this space, the direction that I would like to take Swarm into is focus on solving environmental, social, and governance problems through the use of education, media such as this, and open source AI technologies. So I really want to help governments. I want to help startup ecosystems, corporations, anybody that really wants to adopt this technology in a safe, responsible, explainable manner and needs access to qualified experts. I want to be able to facilitate the development of that ecosystem. And I think that is the most socially responsible use of my time. We're only here for a short period of time on this earth, and we might as well do something that is worth doing. Um, that brings me to my next slide. Time is slipping into the future all the time. So I think I'm gonna dive deeper and rebrand myself and focus my energies into more environmental concerns. Um, I've been very much involved with ethnobotany and mycology and permaculture for a very long time, for the last 9 years as a hobby. But if I really have to evaluate where my heart and where this community is taking me, it's more on the environmental side. I don't see why we don't have uh, the ability to grow and manufacture healthy food from our kitchen. I don't see the reason why we have so much famine. There's so much money in the world. There's so many high end technologies that we can leverage and put together, and it's just mind-boggling to me why something or someone hasn't been able to connect the dots and make this a core infrastructure in every home. So that's where I'm going to be focusing my energies. Um, as a community overall, I think with my lens and my perspective being clear, my compass is taking me towards championing these themes of technology for good and earth data science. So for this summer, we're going to be creating a summer school for these two topics: technology for good and earth data science. We're going to be building from scratch a curriculum that takes you through ethical considerations as to how these technologies are disproportionately powerful, and they have a force multiplier effect on the actions of a small subset of individuals. So to wield that technology is a great responsibility, and you need to be aware of the biases and the potential harmful side effects, though they may be unintended, um, of how we can impact individuals without our own knowledge. The Earth data science part of this is going to be a primer to learn how to work with open data sets, build machine learning models, dockerize these scientific experiments, and get a little deeper into open science and citizen science initiatives. Um, so with all that being said, if you'd like to collaborate with the Swarm community, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. Uh, I'm now taking questions. If you have anything that you'd like to ask, happy to happy to chat further. But I think that gives you a general gist of where we're at and where we're going. Let me just check my live stream to see if there's anything I can answer. All right, I see. Um, yeah. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to take anything. Um, but other than that, in the next hour, we're gonna be getting a very good introduction to what it means to combine ontologies and fair data principles to enable organizations to have dynamic data infrastructure so that they can deal with their evolutionary concerns with the real world. What tends to happen is organizations have an idea hypothesis as to how they're performing their core business in the world, um, but that is only limited in scope to their knowledge and learning. As a organization continues to operate and expand and learn more things, their demand for data to inform their decision making expands over time. Um, the limiting factor for organizations today to do that is sometimes they buy new tools, and those tools come with their own set of ways of representing the world. But ontologies and fair principles are a way to build and develop this architectural blueprint that allows you to plug in other things from the outside world without having to adopt a number of tooling or ideas or blueprints. It helps consolidate all these concerns into one place. Um, After which, we're going to have a presentation with Mirignagni Kansal. She's going to be taking us through how AI is going to revolutionize traditional industries. So, you know, we get to understand how things work at a mechanical functional level. After which, we're going to be able to understand how these technologies are also going to have an impact in traditional industries, such as agriculture, finance, healthcare, and things of that nature. So, yeah. If there's no further questions, then I'm gonna end the stream. But be ready to tune in the next 10 minutes for the next presentation. And yeah, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it.